guys, hope we're all well. Welcome back to Ollie's ASMR world. Hey, now this is the first of maybe many or maybe none, I don't know, but first in a long time of wrestling ASMR videos. We haven't done one in ages, like forever ever. But we got one today. Somebody asked me the other day if I'd be previewing SummerSlam. I said I won't have time to preview it, but I'll do a review. But mainly just like a ramble of my thoughts on the show, which is what you're about to watch now. Okay, so I ain't going to be going through move for move, and I ain't going to go into great detail. We are at a we have a time sensitive issue here, where we have about 20 minutes per video, give or take. So let's just get into it. We kicked off the show, Logan Paul against Ricochet. This is Logan Paul, whose brother Jake Paul was fighting Nate Diaz on the same evening. Logan was on first for that reason. Get his match out of the way. Private jet straight to wherever the Jake Paul Diaz fight was taking place. I forget where it was now. And be there ringside for that fight. Logan Paul did what he's been doing since he came in, proving the doubters and myself wrong. Actually, I don't doubt him anymore. I don't doubt his ability anymore anyway. He's already proved himself. He's not a WWE superstar in the respect of he's not like weekly on the TV, on the Raw and SmackDown shows, but he does do the build-ups to his pay-per-view matches, etc. He'll do a few weeks of TV tapings and whatnot, and when he gets in the ring, there's not a lot he can't do, which really surprised me at the time when he first came in. I was like, that was stupid. What's he gonna do? And I was shocked then. I'm still shocked now. Yeah, he went up against Ricochet, who, let's be honest, Ricochet is probably the most talented wrestler. There's two that come straight to my mind. One's former WWE, one's current being Ricochet. So these two talents are probably the most talented superstars who will never be a superstar. And that sounds really stupid, I know. So you got Ricochet, who is goddamn awful on a microphone. If he could show just 50% of what he does in the ring, like manoeuvre wise, and transfer that ability to the microphone, just 50%, he'd be a superstar. But unfortunately, when he gets on a mic, I want to fall asleep. But his in-ring ability is second to none for his high-flying stuff anyway. Maybe not his technical ability, but his high-flying manoeuvres, second to none. The other person who's next to it is Cesaro, the Swiss cyborg, another one who is like one of the best talents out there, but awful on a microphone. Like, oh. So yeah, if you could be a superstar without talking, both of them would have been superstars. But Ricochet never will be, unfortunately, for WWE. But yeah, Logan Paul wins, and we kind of knew that was going to happen because he's lost his last couple of matches, hasn't he? On the pay-per-views, I can't remember who against, but he has lost his last couple, Logan Paul. So it's about time he got a win. And we had Ricochet being the one to take the fall. So Logan Paul isn't able to put Ricochet away, Ricochet isn't able to put Logan Paul away, and then one of Logan's buddies come to the side of the ring whilst the rest are distracted, give him some brass knucks. Logan Paul hits Ricochet with the brass knucks, knocks him out, yesterday in parts, but I'm doing this off the top of my head now. Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes. Finally, the story's over. It went on way too long. 2 matches too long to be precise. They had a best of 3 to all intents and purposes. And Cody came out on top, winning 2. 2 Brocks 1. I didn't like it. Was it their best match they've had? Yes. Was it cheesy as hell? Yes. Was it rather obvious what was going to happen? Yes. Apart from all that, I guess it was alright. So, we get very early on, I mean, bear in mind this is Brock, who is, in the build-up to this match, Brock has beaten the hell out of Cody Rhodes. Like, beating him up so bad. Broken his arm, all sorts of stuff. Early in the match, Brock is throwing Cody out of the ring through the ropes and telling him to stay down. He is trying to win via countout. This is Brock Lesnar, the beast Brock Lesnar, who can literally tear Cody from limb from limb. He's told he's going to do that. He's been doing it on the build-up. Yet when he gets him in the ring, he's just like, "Yep, you stay down, Cody. Stay down. It's going to get worse." Like, what the heck? It makes no sense. And then Cody's taking his beating, his ribs are knackered and all this crap. I mean, he sells well, Cody does. He sells really well. Like, he's injured and stuff. But then he's the worst at still selling when making his comeback. So he starts hitting, like, in his comeback to getting the win, he starts hitting Cody cutters. And these kicks that he does off the rope. I forget the called name. That's all well and good. Well, apparently you couldn't stand up a minute ago because your ribs were done. And yet there you are bouncing around off the ropes and hitting Cody cutters. It's like, that it makes no sense because now all of a sudden you're not injured apparently. At least if you're going to sell it that well that you were seriously injured, keep selling it when you're making your comeback. Otherwise, I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? You look stupid. So yeah, it was rather annoying. And Cody got the win. And don't even get me started on how it ended between the two of them. So in the UFC, if a fighter is retiring, they take their gloves off, put them in the middle of the octagon. Brock took his gloves off. I was like, surely Brock's not retiring from WWE. He just threw them behind him and then went over, shook Cody's hand. This is the same Cody who has just beaten him. Who Brock broke Cody's arm in the build-up and all this stuff. He's now shaking Cody's arm and holding his hand up to the crowd, all 4 sides of the ring. As if to say, look, this is you, man. And we all know what it means. It is a Brock acknowledging Cody is the next one in line for the title. If Brock lost to AJ, it doesn't happen. If Brock lost to Seth Rollins, this wouldn't happen. If he lost to LA Knight, for example, this wouldn't happen. Because he lost to Cody Rhodes, the chosen one. That was WWE's way of saying, look, if Brock is acknowledging that he's that good and the next one in line, then just accept it. It's like, oh God, don't shove it down our throats that much. Christ. Let's get it up on, I've got to go on the internet, guys, because my memory is like a sieve. I cannot remember for the life of me what order the matches went in. Bear with me. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay, so Ricochet, Logan Paul, yep. It's not even got me in order on here. We'll just go got through them anyway. We had the SummerSlam Battle Royal, which was sponsored by Slim Jims, I think. We had everyone and anyone in here, from LA Knight to Sheamus to Omos. Who else did they have in there? Bronson Reed, Fight Club. Sheamus' buddies Pete Dunne and what's his name? Rich Holland. There's loads of different people in this. We came down to Sheamus and LA Knight, and LA Knight finally got his big win that all the fans have been wanting for ages. We finally got for LA Knight, so that was good to see. What he gets out of that, I don't know, other than being a Battle Royal winner. Battle Royals when I was a kid were a big thing. They were treated almost as big as a Royal Rumble back when 30 years ago, but not really anymore. So LA Knight wins the Battle Royal. We had 2 women's matches on this show. Rhea Ripley, who is the women's champion, didn't defend the women's title, the Raw title, is it? At SummerSlam. 1, because she hasn't got a rivalry going at the minute, and 2, because they just chose not to put her on there. Instead, we went with Rousey against Baszler. In theory, I had no issue with this. In theory, the idea of Baszler beating Rousey, yeah, I like that. What I did have an issue with was making it a MMA fight, which went down like a fart in a church. It was awful. Like, considering these 2 used to be MMA fighters, this was some of the worst MMA fighting you've ever seen. 1 or 2 bits looked good. There was a kick to Rousey's head by Baszler, looked good. There was a flying knee, I think, from Rousey to Baszler, looked good. Other parts just looked awful, like so bad. I don't know why they didn't just have a wrestling match and then make it a submission rule though. You gotta win by sub. That made more sense to me and would look better. Instead they had it where it was a MMA fight in a WWE ring. We've seen them before, Cain Velasquez, Brock Lesnar, etc, etc. But I'm pretty sure there was even people booing early on in this fight, in this match. And to make matters worse, you had Ronda Rousey throwing punches. The thing was, in the UFC, she wasn't known as a striker, like hardly ever. Her thing was a hip toss takedown, straight into an armbar. She got everyone like that. She can't strike for shit, let alone fake striking in WWE. Baszler wins anyway. She gets the submission chokehold, or I forget what it's called now. Is it the Barracuda clutch, one of them two, something like that. There's a nice bit where she's biting down on her own glove to stop Rousey being able to separate the choke. I thought it was kind of cool, but overall it was probably the worst match on the show, when it shouldn't be. It should have been a lot better than that. So that was a bit of a shame. We had Gunther against Drew McIntyre. I'll be honest, Drew irritates the hell out of me. He's such a one-dimensional wrestler. Like, he's got good look about him, and he's big and he's athletic. He's very athletic for a big bloke. But when he's in a match, I'm happy to wind past it. What kept me watching was Gunther. I've actually gone back recently and watched one of the 2 matches with, is it Dragunov in NXT, between him and Gunther. Holy hell. The first one they had in NXT UK, I think it was. I watched that the other day. I need to watch the second one soon whilst I think about it. But whoa, I can't wait to see Dragunov on the main roster. That's what we need to see. Because them 2 going at it on the main roster is what I want to see in a main event. Oh hell yeah. But Drew went at it with Gunther. He was very hard hitting. And at one point, right at the end, Drew had hurt his ribs, I believe. He went for, he got like a splash off the top rope. This is off the top of it, I can't remember now. And no, he goes to, I think he's going to suplex Gunter off the turnbuckle. Gunter pushed him. He landed on his, on his groin on the rope. Basically, he squashed his balls on the rope. And fell in the ring, and then Gunter hit him with a splash, I think it was. And he'd already done that once before, it hadn't worked. So they got him up and hit him with a powerbomb for the 1-2-3. Gunter retains his title, and he will do until he's beaten Honky Tonk Man's record for the IC title, and rightly so. Okay, where was we? Oh, yeah, so Gunter wins. He retains. He's going to beat Honky Tonk Man's IC title run from way back in like the 90s, which is about time that was beaten. And Gunter's the man to do it. And then eventually, I mean, it's going to be a while yet, I reckon at least maybe 18 months to 2 years. I think he'll be the man to beat Cody Rhodes for the title, and rightly so. Obviously, Cody's got to get off Roman yet. Next, we had probably the second worst match, in my opinion, on the show: Asuka v Flair v Belair. Need I say any more? This was the most clumsiest match I've seen. The only thing that made it good was how it ended, but it was so clumsy, like to the point where it was embarrassing. There was just people missing all sorts. There was a bit, not even joking you, there was a little bit there where you had Asuka and Belair in the corner. Asuka was in front of Belair, I think, she'd been thrown there by Flair or something like that. Flair was about to go and hit her with something, probably like a splash or a big boot to the face or something like that. Her zip must have been broken on the back or something like that happened. She had to ask the ref to help her fix it. While she's doing that, Asuka and Belair just stood there like a couple of bloody donuts, waiting up the corner for Flair to get ready. It took like 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds. It was horrible. And then we had a bit with, it ended with Belair in a figure four with Flair. I think she managed to turn it around so that she had the figure four on Flair. I think that's how it was when I seen it. And then Asuka come in and Belair got a roll up on Asuka while still holding the figure four leg lock on Flair, or Flair had it on Belair, and Belair got the roll up on Asuka. But the story had been, which I guess it was good storytelling, Belair got pushed off the ring apron, come down with her foot, and screamed out like she really hurt her leg. She was getting taken to the back. When she see an opportunity to get in the ring and get a pin, that didn't happen. And then she ends up in the figure four, and it's like, oh no, you daft son, why did you go back in the ring when you're already like injured? So she gets the win with the roll up on Asuka. Asuka with another pointless title reign. Like, what did she do with that title reign? Nothing. It was absolutely pointless, her having that belt. You may have just left it with Belair in the first place. And then we get got Io Shirai coming out and hanged in the briefcase. Bailey's out of her, clobbers Flair and Asuka with the briefcase, and Belair's like, oh for God's sake, now I've got to take on Io. Io comes in, takes out the back of the leg of Belair, hands in the contract, does a 580 or 10,000 to deservedly win it. I think that would have been good, because she does deserve the win. So, next we had Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. Didn't all happen in this order, but that's the order it's on this list. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. Not a match I really cared to watch. Seen them go at it a few times now, and I didn't think they could do much more than they've already done in matches I've seen in the past. Kind of. The theme of the night seemed to be interferences in various matches, like the Logan Paul match interference. I think Imperium was out during the Gunter match, unless they come out afterwards. I think they come out at the beginning and after. There was interference in the Asuka match. Well, I say interference. Obviously, it was afterwards where we seen EO come and cash in. But we got interference in the last two matches, the Seth Rollins and the main event. So it's Seth v Balor. It's an alright match. Done what they normally do, nothing spectacular. And then we get Damian Priest out there, and Ripley and Dirty Dom. Damian tries to give the briefcase to Finn. Finn's like, what do you want? You can't cash in. It's my match. It's my title to win. Not realising that Damian wants him to use the briefcase to get, to cheat to win. Eventually, Damian Priest distracts the ref. The briefcase is there. Balor's about to use it. Seth hits a curb stomp on Balor on top of the briefcase. He's gone. He's done. And that's it. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins retains his title. Hopefully he can move on from Finn Balor now, which I'd really like to see happen. Main event, Roman Reigns v Jey Uso. Main event, Jey Uso. Didn't see coming what eventually happened. This was a bit of a back and forth match. It's meant to be tribal warfare. They didn't really do anything spectacular. We had some chairs with a kendo stick or two. There was somebody went through a table. I think it was Jay went through a table, or was it Roman? I can't remember now. But there's nothing like, oh my god, oh no, nothing like that. They end up in the crowd. Solo has come out. He takes out Jey Uso. Solo takes out Jey, and he then Roman tells him to bring him back to the ring. He carries Jey to the ring. He then tells Solo to hit Jey with his spike. And at this point, Solo's like looking at Roman like, stop telling me what to do. Before he can make a decision on whether he's going to listen to Roman, Jey hits Roman with a spear through the barricade. It looks like Jimmy might get the win. He's took out Solo. I think he took him out for a super kick. Not super kick, just super kicks. The young bucks, what they call them. I'm not too sure. Off the top of it, it's a super kick game. What the hell am I about? And it looks like he's going to get the win and take the title and the tribal crown and whatnot. When out of nowhere comes a hooded individual pulling Jey out of the ring. Jey's on the ground. The hooded man takes his hood off, revealing Jimmy Uso. Jimmy then hits a super kick on Jey, puts him back in the ring. Roman finishes the job. 1, 2, 3. Roman retains. Jimmy turns on Jey, and there's the next part of the storyline. So, if there's any logic, then Jey starts going after the title and starts going after his brother now, who Roman will now defend against that doubt now. Hopefully something completely new. But this wasn't a shock to me. I didn't expect it to happen last night, but there was an interview with Ariel Helwani. The Usos did an interview with him recently at one of the pay-per-views, because Ariel works for WWE on the big events, doing like backstage interviews and stuff. And they said, we've always wanted to have a match against each other. And he's like, really? They're like, yeah, always. Brother v brother. So it shouldn't have been a shock to me when they eventually had, well, when it was settled last night, or at SummerSlam, for that match to happen in the not too distant future. I don't think they can drag it onto the Royal Rumble before them to have a match, but that'd be a hell of a match to have at the Royal Rumble. That is way down the line. It's like January, and we're only in August, so September, October, November, December. Can they carry on for 5 months, 5.5 months? I don't know. For them to have a match together, probably not. And at the Mania, WrestleMania 40, I guess it'll be, so where Cody takes the title from Roman. And that's not until April, so that's ages yet. Anyway, that was at SummerSlam, guys. Apologies, it's not very in-depth, but that's basically what happened. Was it a good show? Not really. Did I like the ending? Yes. Caught me off guard. Favourite match? Probably Gunter against Drew. Although Logan Paul, Ricochet's good as well. Worst match? Rousey and Baszler. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments about SummerSlam and all the wrestling stuff. Take it easy. See you again soon. Bye bye.